Officer Mobile allows for a great deal of self-management by officers by allowing you to not only see what tasks have been assigned, but also to perform quick, basic data entry right from the field, update your status for assigned tasks, as well as set your state to indicate breaks and availability, and more. In this video, we'll show you how to log into the app and show you how you can use the app as a part of your daily duties. The app can be downloaded for free from both the App Store for iOS 8.0 and later, and Google Play for Android 4.4 and later. After downloading and launching the app, you'll then need to configure the settings so you can log in. This is done by clicking on the gear icon in the top right corner. The details you'll need to configure these settings can include the service URL, the business ID if you're a hosted customer, and the database name. When entering this information, if the icon to the left appears in red, this means the value is incorrect. So if you aren't sure what these values should be, please talk to your dispatch administrator to confirm this information. Tap the back arrow to return to the previous screen, and then complete the login by entering your username and password. Once logged in, one of two screens should appear. If a dispatcher hasn't already brought you on duty, then you'll see options where you may be able to select your operational zone, team, and call sign. Once selected, you can then bring yourself on duty. If a dispatcher has already brought you on duty, then you'll jump right to the window that we can see now. In the top half of the screen, you can see your user information, possibly including a picture. Below are three options, first of which is the tasks. If any tasks have already been assigned to you, you will be able to see how many. Similarly, the messages option just right below shows you how many messages you've either been invited to or are already involved in. The profile option allows you to update your status, take yourself off duty, and log out of the app. Let's start by taking a closer look at the tasks. Tapping this will take you to a list of dispatch-related tasks that have been assigned to you by your dispatcher. Here, you may see multiple tasks and possibly multiple tasks related to a single dispatch. So, for each one listed here, you'll see the dispatch number, as well as the location of the task. The top half of the screen will display your current task and its status. A timer may appear here as well. This is an RTA, or recommended time to act. Basically, your dispatch administrator has designated an amount of time that should reasonably allow you to progress from this current state to the next. For example, if your current task status says start, and the timer is counting down from 5 minutes, then the RTA basically says, within 5 minutes from the time the task is assigned to you, you should be able to indicate that you've started your response. Tapping the start would then indicate that you have started your task, and within the dispatch application, your status and the dispatch status would update to en route. At that point, if another RTA exists for the next state, then you could see the timer would be reset to a different time. In this case, you would have a certain amount of time to then arrive on scene. If you don't indicate that you've progressed to the next state before the timer is up, you'll see the circle around that state will turn red, and the timer will begin counting upwards until you tap this area and move to that next state. Before you actually start your task, you'll probably want to review some of the actual dispatch details. Tapping the location under the task state will take you to see this information. Here, you can see under the dispatch details the call category of the dispatch, its priority. Just below that, you'll be able to see the dispatcher, yourself, and any other officers that may have been assigned. And below that can include the location details along with a map. Tapping the map will allow you to zoom in or out to see more or less detail. If the location of the task happens to be an indoor location, you may also see a picture or another image such as a floor plan, giving you some more insight in terms of where you need to go to respond to the dispatch task. Tapping the Officer Mobile icon on the top left will take you back to the previous screen, where you can then tap on the current task state to update your status. As mentioned earlier, tapping Start indicates that you've started your response. The next state will read as Arrive. Tapping this indicates that you have arrived on scene. Once you have arrived on scene, there could be some basic data entry that you can complete if required or appropriate. Once again, if you tap the location information for the task, we once again can see the dispatch details. This time we'll tap on the actions just beside it. This will take you to that data entry area. From here, you could add logs, read and add to the messages, and add pictures right from the scene. The logs area allows you to add either person or organization logs. This is basically the involvements area of the dispatch. Who are the people and or organizations involved, outside of yourself and any other responding officers or organizations. Tapping either will allow you to add a log in one of two ways. First, you have the ability to search your existing prospective database for entities that have an existing record in your system. Tapping the search and entering their name will then return any results that match. From here, you could select them and then indicate their involvement type. After that, you could add any notes that may be relevant to the entity's involvement. In the event that your search returns 0 results for the entity, then they may not have a record in your system, in which case you can complete the data entry manually by indicating their name, identifying their involvement in the event, and once again adding any relevant notes as required. Once logs have been added, you can tap on the Officer Mobile icon in the top left to go back to the previous screen. The media option allows you to add pictures right from the scene, whether you take the pictures with your device or if you select from existing pictures from your device's library. The messages area allows you to review any messages related to this dispatch. You may see notes here that have been added by a dispatcher, and you could add your own notes or updates here if needed as well. Once added here, these notes will appear within the messages panel in Dispatch, and the dispatcher could be alerted to those newly added messages. So another way that this area could be used is as an instant messaging system between yourself and the dispatcher, and possibly any other responding officers. Again, tapping the Officer Mobile icon in the top left allows you to navigate back to the previous screens. You can continue to progress through the task states, indicating when you arrive on scene, and then clear the scene. Each time you update this state, your status and the dispatch status within the dispatch application is automatically updated, and the system will capture those various times. Once you have cleared yourself from a task, it will be removed from your task list, and if you have other tasks assigned, then the next one will automatically move up and you can progress through the task just as we have shown. If another event occurs that should take precedence to the task that is already assigned to you, then you may see that a dispatcher can update your task list. If they change the order of your tasks, including your current task, even if you've started it or arrived on scene, you'll see that it could get pushed back down into your task list, and then the new task will appear in the top half of the screen. And once this new task is complete and you have cleared, then again, the next task in your list, which could possibly be that previous one, could then be started. Tapping the Officer Mobile icon in the top left, again, will allow you to go right back to the main starting screen. The messages area from here allows you to review all messages or conversations you may have. These will be broken into 2 categories, dispatch and messages. The dispatch area shows you all dispatch-related messages and conversations, the same ones that we just looked at a few minutes ago. From here, you could continue to add these messages or conversations, leave the conversation, or invite others to join. To invite other users to join the conversation, select the conversation from the list, tap the details in the top right, then tap Invite. A list of all dispatch users will then be displayed, and from here you can tap on the user or users that you want to invite. Once selected, tap the Invite again to actually invite them. Also from here, you could leave the conversation by again tapping the details and then tapping Leave. The messages area to the right shows you any conversations not related to a dispatch. These could be personal conversations with other dispatch users, whether it be dispatchers or other officers. If there are no existing conversations, or to start a new one, tap the Add button, and then select the person or persons that you wish to invite. And again, tap the Invite. Once they have accepted the invitation, you will see that they've joined the conversation. As with the dispatch messages we just saw, if you want to leave one of these conversations, select it from the list, then tap the details, and then tap Leave. If you have been invited to any conversations, they will appear in orange text, in which case you can tap on the invitation and then select from either Accept to join the conversation or Reject to reject the invite and not join. Going back to the main screen once more, now let's look at the profile area. From here, you can change your state to indicate if you're going on a break or are otherwise busy and unavailable, as well as indicate once you are available again. Tapping the Change State allows you to select from a list of possible busy states that have been identified by your dispatch administrator. If you're going on a break, you can tap the appropriate option. Within the dispatch application, your status in the officer panel will then show that you're on a break. Once your break is up, you can then come back here and update your state back to available. Your dispatch administrators may create officer alerts for dispatchers around these different states, so that when the time is up or close to being up, they are alerted. And if your status is not updated accordingly, they could then touch base with you to see if you are available or if it should be set to a different status. You may also see here there is a current location listed at the top. You can enable the location services on your device so that your current location is updated on the map within the dispatch application. Also from here, when you've reached the end of your shift, you can take yourself off duty. This will automatically update within the dispatch application by removing you from the officer panel. Within the app, you will be taken back to the first screen that we saw when we logged in, allowing you to possibly update or change your operational zone, team, and/or call sign. But if it's the end of your shift, you can tap cancel to log off the app. If a dispatcher happens to take you off duty while you're still logged into the app, you'll see a message indicating such, and tapping OK will take you back to this screen, where as mentioned, you can either update your details to bring yourself back on duty, or again, tap cancel to log off.